Hey everyone, today we're going to discuss one of the special trials in Path of Exile 2, which becomes available in Chapter 2, known as the Sirkma trial. Throughout this video, I'll be showcasing a Summoner Witch build. And while we're at it, let's talk about the overall performance of the Witch class in gameplay. To access the trial, you'll need a special circular token. One important thing to keep in mind is the trial tickets are level restricted. Based on our testing experience, if you attempt content above your level or try to tackle trials above your current level, it becomes extremely challenging. Even minor elite mobs can one-shot you. Therefore, I strongly suggest when the league starts, you should focus on running trials below your level to guarantee your ascendancy completion. During the testing phase for these trial tickets, the drop rates were pretty low, making them quite scarce. The trials feature various types of challenges. It reminds me of a roguelike game. Jonathan mentioned this while streaming. This stage contains 3 portals. 2 enemies guard each portal. Mobs continuously spawn from the portals. Just destroy all 3 portals to clear it. I think this is the easiest challenge. Always feels like a lucky draw when I get this one. During the Witch skill demonstration, they're just using basic skills here, avoiding complex endgame skill combos, which would make the screen too cluttered. With this silver key, you can, once you clear the first main area and all its subzones, you'll get access to tons of treasure chests. POE1 veterans will recognize this style of zone progression map. So we can preview the next 2 major zones. Let's see what we have here. This helps us plan our path through the game. This path leads to a bronze key, and this one gets you a silver key. However, your and your minions' damage will be reduced by 40%. That's a huge penalty. So it's really up to you which path to take and which rewards to pursue. For this stage, you need to flip the hourglass. During this timed challenge, waves of monsters will spawn and attack you. If you attempt it at your current level, the Sirkma trial, this trial can be really tough. Around 20 seconds in, powerful elite mobs start spawning. If they roll dangerous mods, they can one-shot you. As you can see, this player was playing pretty risky, running all over the place. When I play as a summoner, in this stage, I find a safe spot and let my minions tank the damage. Instead of rushing in myself, which is super risky. See that monster with fire rings? It's a tough elite mob. Good thing it spawned late, so it wasn't much of a threat. sense. Though this player seems high level. Picked up a dungeon key. Choose the next stage path. You'll find a relic fountain here. He picked this fountain. As for the relic, it serves as currency in rogue mode. When you encounter a merchant, you can purchase powerful buffs from them, or remove existing buffs. This current stage is fairly straightforward. Just defeat a few specific elite mobs. However, I've died countless times in stages like this. Those snake men's projectiles, for example. If you're around the same level as the content, you'll get one shot. So instant deaths are still possible. In my experience, it's similar to what we'll see later. You'll need to stack Ela rays. These elite mobs, kill them, and you can move on to the next stage. But typically when we're here, we try to loot everything we can find, grab all available loot. There are lots of containers nearby. They might contain valuable drops. These elite hunting stages all look alike, with these maze-like paths. Now, about the witch's summons. As you can see, in this clip, they're using skeleton archers, starting with warrior skeletons, equipped with swords and shields. Look at the second icon in the top left. After the skeleton archer, you'll find the battle mage. the grenadier and lightning mage skeletons. After the monk comes the shield bearer. No, I mean the hammer wielder. Sorry, the melee fighter. So there's quite a variety of minions available. In my last video, I recommended using the grenadier skeleton because it gives you the best bang for your buck. Each time you summon an additional skeleton, it costs a chunk of mana. Some skeleton types only unlock in the late game. Take the hammer skeleton I mentioned earlier. It has a high mana cost. But in my experience, it's not really worth using. As you might have noticed from the stream, you can only use one copy of each support gem per character. For instance, if I use the multiple projectiles gem to enhance my grenade skeleton, with its projectile splitting effect, then my other skeleton types, it's impossible to get that ability, such a powerful support skill. So I'd better focus on grenade skeletons. This means in my minion army, about 80% would be grenade skeletons. This maximizes their potential. But this is just early game analysis. In the late game, more builds and options will be available. We're in the Sirkma trial now. Fighting the first boss. I've been fighting this boss over and over. Pretty straightforward. Here's the summoner. Let's look at their skill set. I'll give you a quick rundown, starting with the Q ability. It lets you sacrifice one of your minions, which buffs all nearby minions. With a significant damage boost. It's a core summoning ability. The W is a bone spear ability. Hitting corpses with it spawns scorpions. As we saw earlier, this skill sees frequent use as well, especially during map clearing. However, in boss fights, no corpses are available, making this skill during boss fights completely ineffective. So, we need to find alternatives. As for the third skill, it's a curse ability. The fourth is an archer skeleton channeling skill. It makes them fire a volley of arrows. The arrows can be ignited by fire damage. The other two skills are chaos-based abilities. One of them is the contagion skill, which can spread damage between enemies. Now, about these chests. Since we've got the key now, we can unlock that small altar from before and complete our ascendancy. The character we're watching has already completed their ascendancy. For first-time ascendancy, you'll get to choose between two options. Pick one of two ascendancy paths. He's going for the Hellfire-based ascendancy path. Speaking of the Hellfire path, it offers multiple build options. In my opinion, it's one of the more interesting ascendancies. Let me show you. Spending 2 points to unlock the Hellhound. The Hellhound companion. After unlocking it, just activate it in your skill menu. You'll have a permanent Hellhound companion. This beast comes with high HP and damage output. Plus, it can absorb a portion of incoming damage for us. It starts at 10% damage absorption, if I recall correctly, meaning it takes 10% of the damage you would receive, and absorbs that damage instead of you. Pretty solid choice, if you ask me. I've stuck with this option throughout my playthrough. There are other interesting options available, like this one that transforms you straight into a demon. That's a pretty cool mechanic. But since I went with a summoner build, I didn't go down that path. This keeps updating automatically. From what I saw in the last video, POE players call this build the Bloodlord. I haven't tried it myself though, so I'm not familiar with how this Bloodlord build works. I don't know the mechanics behind it. During the beta test, our talent points and available gear didn't really support this build. We should be able to try it out after the full release. The Sirkma trial shown in this video is just an early game challenge. I'm sure there'll be more advanced challenges later on. You'll need to take on these challenges. I believe this gameplay mechanic has quite a lot of depth to it. Now, here's another interesting detail. When inserting a ticket, you can add additional modifiers to it. Once you place the ticket in the pedestal, it unlocks access to a modifier selection screen. These modifiers come with different effects, such as increasing holy water drops or reduce incoming boss damage. As you can see, these items here, they come in different sizes. You'll need to fit them like puzzle pieces. into these grid slots. The grid system has multiple locked sections, which you'll unlock by clearing various stages. These are the trial challenges you'll face. Once you complete these challenges, you'll progressively unlock more slots, allowing you to socket more relics. Let's customize our own Sirkma trial. As you can see, the Sirkma trial is going to be quite time-consuming to master, but it's definitely worth exploring. Well then, that wraps up our introduction to the Sirkma trial. Thanks for watching! See you next time!